Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Sir Gomba. My name is Trace Mesco, and this is my report about American colonial period and Japanese occupation. So we are Group 4. My group members are Miss Shelamuan and Miss Desiree Pino. So now I will begin my report. American period during 1898 to 1941. Over the years, Philippine literature has been into its emergence. From our prehistoric times until the modern day, there were several discovery, creativity, and wide range of imagination. All things happened because of these experiences of our country, whether slavery, freedom, poverty, and independence with a certain degree of freedom of the press. From Spanish slavery, the writers in Tagalog began to express themselves more freely and therefore started writing in the native language. So, the emergence of Philippine literature during the American period, it highlights how the following the end of Spanish rule, writers in Tagalog gained more freedom of expression and began writing in their native language, influenced by our country's experiences with slavery, poverty, and independence. However, the American colonization brought forth the use of English as a language of education, which then spread to being the mode of literary expression. What these literary periods emerged during the American colonization? So there are four periods. The first one is the period of reorientation. The second one is period of imitation. Third, period of self-discovery and growth. And the fourth one is Japanese period. Now let's begin with the period of reorientation. Period of reorientation, 1898 to 1910. The word of reorientation came into existence during this period. English as a literary vehicle came with the American occupation in August 13, 1898, and as they say, a choice below us by history. By 19,000, English came to be used as a medium of instruction in the public schools. So during 19,000s, English language is used being a medium of instruction in public schools. So the first attempts in English were into periodicals of this time. The first one is El Renacimiento, and the second one is Philippine Free Press. El Renacimiento, founded in Manila by Rafael Palma in 1901. So El Renacimiento was a prominent Filipino newspaper founded by Rafael Palma in 1901. It played a significant role in promoting Filipino nationalism and advocating for independence from American rule. And the Philippine Free Press, established in Manila by R. McCullough, Dick, and D. Theo Rogers. The Philippine Free Press is covering topics more about early beginnings, the rise of nationalisms, the American period, and post-independence era. So it provides insights into the evolution of the Philippine press and its influence of society and politics throughout history. So there are prominent literary figures and their works. The first one is Sursum Corda by Justo Juliano, which first appeared in Renacimiento, was the first work to be published in English. So Sursum Corda is a famous Filipino hymn written by Justo Juliano in Philippine music. The title itself, Latin for Lift Up Your Hearts, already hints at its uplifting message. This hymn, known for its powerful melody and inspiring lyrics that encourage faith, hope, and unity. It often sung during religious services and patriotic gatherings, reminding Filipinos of their shared values and aspirations. And the second prominent literary figures during period of reorientation are My Mother and Air Castles by Jan F. Salazar. So, My Mother is about this book likely centers around the author's relationship with their mother, possibly exploring their childhood, their mother's influence, or significant events in their life. While the Air Castles is about this phrase implies dreams, aspirations, or perhaps even illusions. It could be a metaphor for the author's hopes and desires, perhaps those that we were inspired or shaped by their mother. So the third one is To My Lady in Lapag by Proceso Sebastian. So To My Lady in Lapag is all about. It is a poem by Proceso, who is a Filipino writer known for his evocative and romantic works. The title itself suggests a love poem and addressed to a woman residing in a place called Lapag. So it talks about a lady where lived in the place where called Lapag. So the poem likely captures the essence of romantic longing and admiration, evoking images of beautiful women and passionate love. So let's move on to the period of reorientation and let's delve in period of imitation. During 1910 to 1924. By 1919, schools, particularly the UP College Huleo, published the literary compositions of the first Filipino writers in English. They were the pioneers in short story writing. They were then examining their way into imitating American and British models, which resulted in mannered, artificial, and unnatural style, lacking vigor and spontaneity. Their models included Longfellow and Hawthorne, Emerson and Thoreau, Wordsworth and Tennyson, Thackeray and Macaulay, Allan Poe, Irving, and other American writers of the Romantic School. Writers of this milieu included Fernando Maramag, which is the best editorial writer of this period, while Juan F. Salazar, Jose Maria Hernandez, and Vicente Trujillo, among others, they pioneered in English poetry. This is the picture of Fernando Maramag. He is also a prominent poet. So the works of Fernando Maramag was a poet and essayist. He translated Ibanag folk songs into English, such as Cagayan Labor Song, a translation of Orphan Song, and Cagayan Peasant Song. His poems include To a Youth, The Atheist, and The Moonlight in Manila Bay. His essays were anthologized in Leopoldo Eaves' Filipino Essays in English 1910 to 1954. So here's the Monay ang iyahang poem ni Fernando Maramag, which is entitled Moonlight on Manila Bay. So this poem talks about it is likely a poetic celebration of nature's beauty and romantic atmosphere it creates. Yes. So the second prominent writer is Juan Francisco Salazar. He is a Chilean anthropologist and and a filmmaker, and he has lived in Sydney, Australia since 1998. So he is professor of media studies at the School of Humanities and Communication Arts and fellow of the Institute for Culture and Society, or also known as ICS. From 2020, he is in Australian Research Council Future Fellow. So Juan Francisco Salazar is a Chilean anthropologist and filmmaker. So Juan F. Salazar's biography was the history of the beginning of Filipino English, which is the English literature, the growth of English as the vehicle and its triumph over the criterion in the English is too exotic to reflect the native mood, the mannerism, the idiosyncrasies of the Filipino mind, who left Manila High School for a newspaper. In 1913, he joined the Philippine Republic, Filipino Weekly in Hong Kong. The following year, he returned in the country as a reporter for La Democracia and El Renacimiento Filipino. So he then left for America in 1915 as a mess boy on the transport Thomas, the same transport that brought the first American school teachers to the Philippines. He worked in salmon canneries in Alaska and later joined the Sacramento Republic Union in California, where he rose from reporter to copywriter to feature writer. So Juan F. Salazar, he was a reporter, then being a copywriter until he became a famous writer. So this is the Philippine Free Press by Juan F. Salazar, which I explained earlier, which is this covering topics were about early beginnings, the rise of nationalisms, the American period, and post-independence. So let's proceed to the third one. This is the picture of Jose Maria Hernandez. He is also a prominent poetic during the period of imitation. Jose Maria Hernandez is a distinguished dramatist, author, and educator. He had his training in the theater in the United States. His most significant plays are Panday Pera. So, Panday Pera is about a historical drama. It tells the story of blacksmith Panday Pera, who is known for his skill in crafting weapons. A historical 3 acts, which was presented by UP's Rizal Center. So, Prelude to the Pitan, which he wrote in collaboration with Jose Villapanganiban. White Sunday, which was a prize in the Palanca Memorial Award in Literature for the 1-act play in 1960, and The Day But One, the Cultural Center of the Philippines with play awarded in 1970. So the notable works of Jose Maria Hernandez was Panday Pera, Prelude to the Pitan, White Sunday, and The Day But One. So he is a prolific writer and authored an introduction to literary criticism and business English and correspondence, and co-authored English for Filipino with Jane Idades in the Rizal Caravan Social Studies, and character education with G.C. Ella and A.A. Liacampo. The Bureau of Education has incorporated in the Philippine Prose and Poetry series for secondary schools 3 literary pieces of Filipinos. Another prominent literary works of Jose Maria Hernandez was also a Philippine prose and poetry. And the poem, My Home, is included in Volume 3, while the play, Panday Pera and the Three Ties in the Outlook for Filipino Literature. So these are the famous literary works of Jose Maria Hernandez. So, the fourth one, which is Vicente del Fierro. Vicente del Fierro developed not only into a fine journalist, but also a creative writer. His vast readings in English and American literature helped him both as a writer and a teacher of journalism. The years before and after the Second World War were the height of his career. Del Fierro wrote more than 200 poems. Wow. He wrote 200 poems. Of these, more than half was published in local magazines like the Herald Midweek magazine and the Women's Outlook. That is why Vicente del Fierro, uh, uh, also known as a creative writer because of several poems that he created. Among his memorable poems are Aurora, The Message of Camilla, Wind, Silangan, The Dream That Was Our Yesterday, An Understanding Mother. One of his poems, Blades Trails, appeared in Harper's Magazine, famous American publications. He also wrote about 20 short stories that presented in life in the countryside and the gentleness of its people. He was considered as one of the most forceful short story writers in the Philippines after the publication of On the Wings of Fancy in the Herald Midweek magazine. So, On the Wings of Fancy is a collective of poems. Is a renowned Filipino poet. Vicente del Fierro is a renowned Filipino poet known for his lyrical style and romantic themes. The poem explore a whole range of subjects including love, nature, and the human conditions. His literary productions included 2 unpublished novels in the life during the Japanese occupation. So that's that's all for my report. They from American period until period of imitation. So the next reporter for the period of self-discovery and growth will be Miss Shalomim Wan, and the reporter of Japanese period will also be Miss Desiree Pino. And that's all for my report. Thank you for watching and listening, and have a good day. Thank you.